live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to This Day in History, aka TDH. I'm A.O. Xander. We will be joined by the Golden Moon here shortly. And you, viewer, are you? Pardon me. Thank you so much for joining. Today is Tears Day, aka Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. It is Tuesday. Yes, it is. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Starting with, in the year 1047, Drogo of Hauteville was elected as Count of the Apulian Normans during the Norman conquest of southern Italy. Then, 1377, here we have a mass execution of the population between 2,500 and 5,000 of Cesena, Italy, by Breton troops of Giovanni Acuto under the command of Robert, Cardinal of Geneva, acting as a legate of Pope Gregory the 11th. Wow, that's a whole chain of command right there. 1488, Bartholomew Dias and his crew were the first Europeans to land on South African soil at Mossel Bay, east of modern Cape Town. After they have rounded the Good Hope, becoming the Cape of Good Hope, becoming the first known European to travel so far south. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. We're in 1509 now, the Battle of Diu. Portuguese Armada defeated a Mameluke Egyptian fleet in a naval battle at the port of Diu, India, establishing Portuguese trade control in the Indian Ocean. And it says here, the Portuguese Navy defeated a joint fleet of the Ottoman Empire, the Republic of Venice, the Sultan of Gujarat, the Mameluke Burji Sultanate of Egypt, the Zamorian of Calicut, and the Republic of Ragusa at the Battle of Diu in Diu, India. That's a lot of people involved.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. Moving on up to 1634, the most elaborate mask of the Carolinian age, the Triumph of Peace, was held at Whitehall Palace in London in front of King Charles I, written by James Shirley, with sets by Inigo Jones, or Inigo Jones, yeah. And let's see, oh yeah, this is, I actually have a couple of paintings or whatever of that fight right there.
Yeah.
So, here's this one, and here's this one. Actually, I think this, I'm not sure. Pardon me.
Bless you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is the same one, but yeah, maybe we'll get up to it. 1639, the House of Assembly of Barbados met for the first time. And then, 1690, the colony of Massachusetts issued the first paper money in the Americas. It's telling me to image search this. So, going to, let's see here, open this. Sorry about all the sneezing. Here we go. Hey, something's got me today. So hold on a second. There we go. All right. So this looks like this is the first paper money here. Oh. So it's like, you know, it's just a big old denominatory note or denomination note, whatever the word, yeah. Denominatory. And it's signed here and all that stamped. So, like, before they actually, like, you know, really issued them out, like, it seems like he had to go and, like, you know, get vouchers and all that stuff before it became,
yeah, it looks pretty, sophisticated, not the right word, but it looks
very detailed for what it,
there you go, yeah.
For what it is. Like, before we came to a recognition of a unified central currency and all that jazz. 1706, during the Battle of Farstadt, Swedish forces defeated a superior Saxon Polish-Russian force by deploying a double envelopment. Uh-oh. So you know what a double envelopment is?
I have no idea.
Actually, I'll look this up here really quick to see, just in case. Double envelopment. Images. Oh, so from two sides. So they're, so like, you know, from not just from one flank, but from both. So okay. So they did that. I was thinking of a double siege. So 1706, so we got that one. 1716, the 1716 Algiers earthquake sequence began with the MW 7.0 main shock that caused severe damage and killed 20,000 in Algeria.
Jeez.
Yeah. 1740, Charles de Bourbon, King of Naples, invited Jews to return to Sicily. I wonder why they were expelled. 1743, Philadelphia established a pest house to quarantine immigrants. What a name, a pest house. So, 1751, a Dutch States General forbade the export of windmills. Why?
So they wanted to build them in-house. No exports.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
They needed windmills they didn't want. They needed more windmills. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if I did a typo or if there's an actual discrepancy, but I'm trying to find this. It's 1752. This is saying that was in 1752. And my other source says 1751. So we have a discrepancy there. Yeah. 1781, Dutch West Indies island of St. Augusta was taken by the British. During the American Revolutionary War, the British forces seized the Dutch-owned Caribbean island of St. Eustatius. Saint whatever something. Yeah, so they were taking all sorts of things, not just warring with us.
Yeah.
1783, Spain recognized U.S. independence, and U.S.-Spain relations were first established. So that makes sense. 1787, militia led by General Benjamin Lincoln crushed the remnants of Shays' Rebellion in Persham, Massachusetts. 1807, a British military force under Brigadier General Sir Samuel Ashby captured the city of Montevideo in the Battle of Montevideo, within part of the Spanish Empire, which is now capital of Uruguay. This was during the Napoleonic Wars. So, 1809, the territory of Illinois organized, including present-day Wisconsin, which later became the 10th U.S. state. So here we go. So this is the
territory.
Yeah, the original territory. This is what it looked like, overlaid on the current U.S. map.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh. Minneapolis, Madison, Springfield, all that stuff. And yeah,
way down south.
Yeah. 1815, the world's first commercial cheese factory was established in Switzerland, and that's this is a logo. World's first.
Cheesecake Factory.
Cheese factory, not cheesecake.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
The world's first commercial cheese factory.
Wow.
So, 1830, the sovereignty of Greece was confirmed in the London Protocol, and the London Protocol of 1830 established the full independence and sovereignty of Greece from the Ottoman Empire as the final results of the Greek War of Independence. All right. 1836, the Whig Party held its first national convention in Albany, New York. All right.
Did it just dissolve, or did it turn into the Democratic Republican Party?
No, Republican and Democrat were their own thing. The Whig Party was a third party, and they just eventually died off.
Yeah.
Because eventually we just got into this bipartisan trap. This whole lesser of two evils mentality. Well, it's still an evil, Vote third party. It's not a waste. 1855, Wisconsin Supreme Court declared U.S. fugitive slave law unconstitutional. What was that law entailing? U.S. fugitive slave law. Let's see here. Oops, did not mean to do that. Cool. They were laws passed in the U.S. Congress in 1793 and 1850 to provide the return of slaves. Okay, that is unconstitutional. So, didn't even have to read that far into it. 1857, early ice hockey game played between teams from Swansea and Over on Marfen, England. And I actually have an artist's depiction of what that looked like. They're out there with the clubs or whatever look like
sticks.
Canes.
Those are sticks.
Yeah. Well, hockey
sticks.
sticks. Yeah, but that's before hockey. It straight up looks like a cane. Look at that crux.
Yeah.
They all look like canes. So I think they just put on some skis somehow. Because this is before hockey and all that stuff.
Not skis.
Skates, yeah. Anyway, 1860, Thomas Clemson took office as the first U.S. Superintendent of Agriculture. And then 2 years later, Samuel Clemens was first used the pen name Mark Twain in a Virginia City newspaper, the Territorial Enterprise. And I actually have a picture of that, I believe. We also have 1862, we got that one. Moldavia and Wallachia formally united to create the Romanian United Principalities. Okay. 1863, Samuel Clemens first... Oh, actually, no, here we go. 1862 and 1863. So we have a discrepancy here. So which one was it? Our primary source says 63, and our other...
There's a lot of that, isn't there?
Yeah, well, yeah. 1864, during the U.S. Civil War, Union Army General Sherman began his Meridian Campaign to disrupt Confederate railroads through Mississippi in Vicksburg. And that's Sherman's march through Mississippi, part of his march to the South. 1867, Prince Mushito, at the age of 14, became Emperor Meiji of Japan, reigning from 1867 until 1912. And I wonder if that was the Meiji Restoration. I mean,
with the what?
Meiji Restoration.
I'm not familiar with
It was a massive thing in Japan. Well, it has to be. It's named after him. His name is Meiji.
Oh, okay.
So, Meiji Restoration. Referred to at the time as the Honorable Restoration, also known as the Meiji Renovation, Revolution, Regeneration, Reform, or Renewal, was a political event that restored imperial rule to Japan in 1868 under Emperor Meiji. Okay, yes. Although there were ruling emperors before the Meiji Restoration, the events restored practical power to and consolidated the political system under the Emperor of Japan. So for a while they were not under an emperor, and then under this guy they became an emperor again, and then we put an end to that in 1945.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, 1870, Iowa ratified the 15th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, allowing suffrage for all ethnicities and colors. So they had to get like a certain amount of people to sign it to ratify it to make it a thing, because the other source just says it was ratified, not saying that Iowa was the last person to make it official.
They were the first person to make it official. It went over the top to make it official.
Oh.
In other words, it takes 100 votes. They were the 100th vote.
Yeah, true. Anyway, 1876, Albert Spalding invested $800 in to start a sporting goods company, manufacturing the first official baseball, tennis ball, basketball, golf ball, and football.
Wow.
Spalding Sports.
Yeah.
1882, circus owner P.T. Barnum bought his world-famous elephant, Jumbo. Actually, here is an image of blacks voting. You know, we just spoke about that amendment and all that stuff. And here's the elephant, Jumbo. It is a big elephant. 1887, to avoid disrupted or disputed national elections, the U.S. Congress created the Electoral Count Act. All right. 1892, Russia closed down the Volswan Yeshiva, a Lithuanian Talmudical college. The Talmud, that's the Jewish script, correct? The Talmud?
I don't know.
I believe it is. Just moving this over here. 1894, the first U.S. steel sailing vessel, yesteryear, launched at Bath, Maine. And here's a picture of it. It's the first one with steel hulls.
Yeah.
Remember I was talking with you about the ironclads and all that stuff a couple days ago, and how the concept of building a ship out of metal was new and everything. I actually saw a video about the Union one, the one with the turret. And it was actually like made of wood on the inside, but then they had like metal on the outside for armor and all that stuff. But like that was still like in the act of because 1860 something to 1894, this is the first U.S. steel sailing vessel.
What happened to Old Ironside? I think he was in there somewhere.
That's what was Old Ironsides? Well, we gotta keep going for the sake of the show. 1900, rival forces fought for control of the Union Park grounds in Baltimore. I'm gonna look up Ironsides. This is bothering me. Old Ironsides. I'm sure. I thought it was a revolution. Oh, that's the Constitution. Yeah, 1797. Heavy frigate of the U.S. Navy. USS Constitution, also known as Old Ironsides, is a three-masted wooden-hulled heavy frigate. They slap metal on it.
Okay.
So, this is the first one that's made of metal.
Yeah.
1900 as well, rival forces fought for control of Union Park grounds in Baltimore. Okay, we covered that. 1913, the 16th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, instituting a federal income tax, was ratified. Allowing the federal government to impose and collect an income tax. God damn you, Woodrow Wilson. And I'm sorry, Jewel Chicky, for saying that, the GD word, but Woodrow Wilson, if anybody, he should be damned by the Lord. You know, he allowed the Federal Reserve in, the Rothschilds, all sorts of nasty stuff. I would say Woodrow Wilson is the absolute worst president in the history of the United States, possibly one of the worst, if not the worst, world leaders of all time, because of him allowing the Rothschilds into our nation, into what we became, and the world powerhouse that we are. The entire world trembles at the Rothschilds now, and because of this scumbag. So, you're going to say something?
I'm no fan of his, is all I was going to say.
1916, Canada's original Parliament buildings in Ottawa burned down. The center block of the Parliament buildings in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, they burnt down with the loss of 7 lives. Sucks. 1917, the U.S. ocean liner Housatonic was sunk by a German submarine on the same day that U.S. President Woodrow Wilson broke off diplomatic relations with Germany. And that's when...
Lusitania, yeah.
No, this is a Housatonic, not Lusitania.
Oh.
Lusitania was sunk in like 1915 or something.
That's right. That was World War One.
This is World War One. This is 1917.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, my bad.
We were pissed off about Lusitania, but it didn't bring us into the war. But that...
It did.
Well... Then why would we break off diplomatic relations with Germany if we had declared war on them in 1917 before that? Something's weird in history. When was Lusitania? Let's look this up here. When was the Lusitania? 1915. So, I agree. Like, I thought that was a catalyst of us getting into the First World War, but. Well, I know in 1917 we got into it, so maybe that's when public relations or public demand switched. I don't know. That's, you know what? I'm going to write this down right now. Let's talk about the Lusitania and all that stuff. IOYO.
Okay.
Actually, here. We'll just cross these off here really quick. Lusitania. Lusitania / U.S. World War I / conspiracy. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to 1918, Twin Peaks Tunnel for streetcars began service in San Francisco at 11,920 feet, one of the world's longest. In conversion to meters, it's 3,630 meters long. 1919, Socialist Conference convened in Bern, Switzerland. That's not good. We also have the Bolshevik army was defeated in a series of clashes with the White Russians who are fighting to reclaim the government after the 1917 revolution. 1923, the Soviet Commission of Commissars, the Sonarcom, approved plans for expanding the Red Air Fleet mail service to include passenger service, seen as the country's start of civil aviation. All right. 1924, Alexei Ryuko was elected as president of People's Commission, succeeded Lenin. 24, Canada beat the United States 6-1 to retain the Olympic ice hockey gold medal won at 1920 Summer Games. At the Chamonix Games, Canadian LW Harry Watson top scored with 46 points. All right. We also have Switzerland claim the inaugural Olympic bobsled gold medal at the Chamonix Games ahead of Great Britain and Belgium. And here's a photograph of that team.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, just bare bones, straight up.
Yeah.
You know, back before they were taking those wild turns at 1,000 miles per hour. Rest in peace, that one Georgian bobsledder. So, 1928. Did I get that one? Yeah. Paleoanthropologist Davidson Black reported his findings on the ancient human fossils found at Zhuodian, China, in the journal Nature, and declared them to be a new species he named Sinanthropus pekinensis, now known as Homo erectus. Yep. 29, Revolutionary Socialist Party formed in Amsterdam. That's not good. 1930, the Indo-Chinese Communist Party of Vietnam was established. It was founded at a unification conference held in Koalatown, British Hong Kong. Huh. All right.
They're still in charge.
Yeah.
Some form of it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. The Communist Party of Vietnam was founded in China. 1931, Arkansas legislator passed a motion to pray for the soul of journalist H.L. Mencken after he calls the state the apex of Morania. So they're taking the Christian route of we'll pray for you, sweetheart, when they get insulted. Turn the other cheek type of thing, 1931, New Zealand's worst natural disaster, the Hawke's Bay earthquake, killed 256 people and injured thousands more, devastating the pier in the Hawke's Bay region. Wow. The other source says 258, so between 256 and 258. 1933, the first interstate legislative conference in the U.S. opened in Washington, D.C. And while that was going on, Dutch communist Marinus van der Lubbe departed for Berlin. He was later arrested, convicted, and executed for supposedly setting fire to the German Reichstag. So he was part of the Fall Guys. Because the Nazis set fire to their own Reichstag, and they blamed the communists in a false flag attack to get the public to support, because as always say, public is the power, to get the public support to be against the Soviets and to allow for something like Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union, to occur. After, up until then, the Soviets had been nothing but neighbors to the Nazis. They partitioned Poland, they worked together, and then freaking Hitler sucker punched them.
Yeah.
But if he did that without the support of the people, then the nation would be like, what the fuck, guys? And then they'd hand over Hitler to Stalin and be like, yeah, we don't want him. What the hell? So anyway, 1933 as well, German minister Hermann Göring banned Social Democratic newspaper Vorwärts or something. We also have Adolf Hitler announced that the expansion of Lebensraum into Eastern Europe and its ruthless Germanization were the ultimate geopolitical objectives of Nazi foreign policy. Yep, he was a lunatic. 1941, U.S. Supreme Court upheld federal wage and hour laws, setting minimum wages and maximum hours. All right. 1942, baseball owners agreed to permit each club up to 14 night games in 1942, because there was a period of time where they didn't have any night games because of bombings.
Absolutely.
So 43, the 4 chaplains drowned after giving up their life jackets to others as the U.S. Army transport ship Dorchester sunk in the North Atlantic. Now, this is why I stress so much about using multiple sources, because this tells that side, and this tells the exact, not the same thing at all, really, but it's the same event. 1943, the SS Dorchester was sunk by a German U-boat.
Wow.
Only 230 of 902 men aboard survived.
Wow.
So now we know how it sunk.
Yeah.
And within that sinking, these 4 chaplains, they drowned after bravely surrendering their life jackets to save somebody else's life.
They just focus on different things.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's no rhyme, there's no agenda behind,
No, there's no
the
right or
differences.
wrong there. It's just what they focus on that incident.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
1945, almost 1,000 flying fortresses dropped 3,000 tons of bombs on Berlin. This was as part of Operation Thunderclap. 1,000 B-17s of the 8th Air Force bombed Berlin, a raid which killed between 2,500 and 3,000 people, dehousing another 120,000.
Wow.
So yeah, bombs, man. 45, World War II, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill arrived in Yalta, Crimea, Soviet Union, for the Big Three Yalta Conference. Yep. 47, we have the current North American record for coldest temperature was set in Snag, Yukon at negative 81 Fahrenheit, or negative 63 Fahrenheit, Celsius.
Ooh.
Negative 81 Fahrenheit, negative 63 Celsius. That's cold.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, fuck the wind. 1947, the first black reporter in U.S. Congressional Press Gallery, Percival Prentice. All right. And 3 years later, in 1950, nuclear physicist Klaus Fuchs was arrested on spying charges. Good. This piece of shit. Do you recognize this guy?
No.
Let's see here. Klaus Fuchs. Oppenheimer. You'll recognize him here in a minute. This guy.
So who is that?
That's Klaus Fuchs.
Oh.
This is from the movie we saw, Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay.
Klaus Fuchs.
Okay.
Klaus Fuchs was a British nuclear scientist. I don't know exactly what branch he was, but he worked with Oppenheimer and Fermi and all those people, for the Trinity test and all that stuff. And he's the reason why the damn Soviets got the bomb.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, him in his British intellect, oh, well, it's just not fair for them to not have the bomb, now is it? So he gives them the bomb to even the scales, so to speak, and you idiot. 1951, Dick Button won the U.S. skating title for the 6th time.
I know that name.
What a name, Dick Button.
I know that name.
1953, J. Fred Muggs, a chimpanzee, became a regular on NBC's Today Show. And we also have the Bet-Bud massacre occurred in Sao Tome when the colonial administration and Portuguese landowners unleashed a wave of violence against the native corals known as foros. 1956, Autry Lucy was admitted to the University of Alabama and suspended for her own safety a few days later after a riot by protesters on campus. Okay. 1956, Tony Saylor of Austria won the downhill at the Cortina d'Ampezzo Winter Olympics, becoming the first athlete to sweep all 3 alpine skiing events in a single Olympics. Nice. 58, Royal Teens Short Shorts entered top 40 chart and peaks at number 3. Is that the Who Likes Short Shorts?
Oh, yeah.
Da, 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 da. We like short shorts.
Yeah.
1958 as well, founding of Benelux Economic Union, creating a testing ground for a later European Economic Community. So, this is when it started. 59, American Airlines Flight 320 crash in New York's East River, killing 65 of 73 people on board. The Lockheed L-188 Electra on approach to LaGuardia Airport in New York City. And we also have, at that same time, 2 plane crashes. The plane crash known as the Day the Music Died killed musicians Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, J.P. Richardson, also known as the Big Bopper, and the pilots near Clear Lake, Iowa. Yeah, I'm sure there was a...
So this is on the same day?
Yeah, same day, same year. You know, as you know, this happened in 2 aircraft. 1960, British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan made his famous Wind of Change speech in Africa against the apartheid regime, angering South African politicians, signaling that his government is likely to support decolonization. Good. 61, the United States Air Force began Operation Looking Glass, and over the next 30 years, a doomsday plane was always in the air with the capability of taking direct control of the United States' bombers and missiles in the event of the destruction of the SAC's command posts. So no matter what, if you hit us, we will hit you. 1962, U.S. President John F. Kennedy banned all trade with Cuba except for food and drugs. Interesting. 64, black and Puerto Rican students boycotted New York City public schools. Probably because of segregation. Yeah, 64.
Sure.
So, 64 as well. French sisters Marielle Gauchiot and Christine Gauchiot, gold and silver respectively, repeated in reverse order their top 2 finish in the slalom 2 days earlier. Slalom 2 days earlier. In slalom. In the giant slalom at the Innsbruck Winter Olympics. Slalom. Like it sounds like a Jewish thing. So. 65, 105 USAF cadets resigned for cheating in exams. Wow. So, we also have Braves offer Milwaukee's $500,000 to terminate their lease a year earlier. The proposal was turned down. Yeah. 1965 as well, orbiting Solar Observatory 2 launched into Earth orbit. 552/636 kilometers, I guess, in height. 66, the first operational weather satellite, ESA-1, was launched by the U.S. All right. And 66 as well, the first soft landing on the moon by the Soviet spacecraft Luna 6 occurred. And it was also the first spacecraft to take pictures of the surface of the moon.
That's kind of cool.
So actually, I'm going to image search this really quick to see if I can find any images, because we're almost a half hour in, and we're rolling here. So I'm going to try to keep up the momentum, but this might be it right here. Lunar 9 lander. This has to be it. Yeah. So
that's the Ruskies there.
Yep, the Ruskies.
Ruskies?
1967, Jimi Hendrix added vocals and overdub for Purple Haze at Olympic Studios in London. Basic track had been recorded by the band in January. All right. Yeah. So instrumental first and then vocals. 67, Ronald Ryan, the last person to be executed in Australia, was hanged in Pentridge Prison, Melbourne. I almost said Reagan. Ronald Reagan and O'Ryan. Ronald Ryan. No. 1969, ibuprofen launched in the UK under the brand name Brufen as a prescription medication, now the world's most popular anti-inflammatory painkiller. Yep. Moving on to the 1970s now. On this date, 1971, a series of house searches by the British Army in Catholic areas in Belfast, resulting in serious rioting and gun battles. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, stay out of my house. 1971 as well, New York police officer Frank Serpico was shot during a drug bust while his fellow officers stood outside and failed to call for assistance. He survived and was later able to testify against police corruption. So, yeah. I wonder if he survived after that, though. 1971, OPEC mandated a total embargo against any company that rejected a 55% tax rate. And in 1972, the 11 Winter Olympics opened in Sapporo, Japan, the first time in Asia. I think it's probably the first ever Winter Olympics, but the first ever Olympics ever in Asia.
Well, I don't know about ever, but I know it was the first winter. I remember.
Yes.
I remember.
First winter, yeah. 1972, the first day of the 7-day 1979 Iranian blizzard started, which would kill at least 4,000 people, making it the deadliest snowstorm in history. Yikes. 1975, Billy Herman, Earl Averill, and Bucky Harris were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And we also have Martin DeHigo and John Pop Lloyd were also elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame 2 years later, 1977. And in 1978, Australia beat India 3-2 on the sixth day of final test after India were all out for 445, chasing 493 to win. I had to throw it in. I had to. Like, I saw that and I'm like, you know what? It's been a while. Click.
It hasn't. Just yesterday.
Was a day away. 1979, the YMCA by Village People peaked at number 2 on Pop Singles chart. All right. 1981, Gro Harlem Brundtland was elected as the first female prime minister of Norway. And then 82, the greatest helicopter lift, 56,888 kilograms at Podmoskovo, USSR. We also have John Sharples of England finished 371 hours of disco dancing. We also have porn star John Holmes was ordered to stand trial for murder, removed from primary source. Huh. Okay. 84, Dr. John Bolster and research team at Harbor UCLA Medical Center in the United States announced history's first embryo transfer from one woman to another, resulting in a live birth. Dude, nice. 1986, Pixar Animation Studios, known for Toy Story Incredibles, among many other works, headed by Edwin Catmull and Alvy Ray Smith, was spun off from Lucasfilm Limited as an independent film production company with the backing of Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And that was after he got fired by Apple. He also created. Like, ain't that a bitch to get fired by your own company?
Wonder what happened to his next computer. You never hear about it.
Next computer?
Yeah, he made a computer company called when he was canned and he called it.
Oh
Next.
yeah, that's right. I think it failed, or it got bought out or something.
Probably
I don't
got bought
remember.
by somebody.
But we have covered it in the show, so it will come. We will cover it. 1986, the Pope and Mother Teresa met in Calcutta. All right. We also have the U.S. President Ronald Reagan announced the formation of the Commission of Inquiry on the Challenger accident. Yeah, that was a couple days ago. 87, SD Yacht Club celebrated the return of America's Cup. That makes me want like SD San Diego, South Dakota. Like what SD? You know.
Probably South Dakota. It'd be San Diego. Yeah.
Yeah. 1988, U.S. Senate confirmed Anthony Kennedy to be the seat of U.S. Supreme Court by a 97-0 vote. That's a landslide.
Yeah.
1989, military coup overthrew Paraguayan dictator Alfredo Stroessner, who fled to Brazil. He had been a dictator of Paraguay since 1954 to 1989. That took a while.
Yeah.
You know, see, like, you know, like, this is why I say, like, it may take a while, but eventually the people, you know, well, this is a military coup, but still, like, this guy had been dictator since 1954, so a change is, even an unknown change, is better than a confirmed boot on the throat. You know, it might be another boot on the throat, but hey, at least we tried. You know, it's better than sitting here and taking it. 1989, after a stroke 2 weeks prior, South African President P.W. Botha resigned as leader of the National Party, but stayed on as president for 6 more months. Okay. 1990, U.S. jockey Bill Schumacher, at the age of 58, retired after his 4,350th horse race, but continued his career as a horse trainer. Nice. 1992, Defense opens calling Norega our ally in war on drugs. Norega, why does that name sound familiar? Oh,
Yeah. That guy.
oh, that piece of shit. Why is he our ally? He ain't our ally in anything. 1993, federal trial of 4 police officers charged with civil rights violations was in the videotape beating of Rodney King began in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a big deal.
Yes, it was. 94 as well, President Bill Clinton lifted U.S. trade embargo against Vietnam. And we also have a space shuttle program, STS-60, was launched, carrying Sergei Kirikalev, the first Russian cosmonaut to fly aboard the shuttle.
Wow.
Nice. 1995, STS-63, Discovery 19, launched into orbit, carrying astronaut Eileen Collins to become the first woman to pilot the space shuttle, as mission STS-63 went underway from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Well, so where are you going ooh for?
I thought that was the one that blew up.
No.
Yeah.
No, she became the first woman to pilot a space shuttle.
Yeah.
97, public memorial was held for Carl Sagan at Cornell University, Ithaca, New York. Who's Carl Sagan?
Oh, man, billions and billions of stars. Carl Sagan, he did
Oh.
a lot of TV stuff, scientific TV stuff, space and all that.
All right, because the name's familiar, but
Yeah.
I before my
You
time.
don't have a picture of him there, huh?
Well, I'll
That's
pull
okay.
up. I'll pull up a picture.
No, I don't need it.
I'll pull up a picture for the audience.
There he is.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't he on Star Trek?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm thinking of something, but he looks very much like somebody, one of the Star Trek characters. I don't know. Anyway.
He had a really popular show.
Yeah. I was only 10.
Yeah.
So. 1998, Cavali's cable car disaster. A United States military pilot caused the deaths of 20 people when his low-flying plane cut the cable of a cable car near Trento, Italy.
Yikes.
Yeah. 1988 as well, former teacher Mary Kay Litorinu, at the age of 36, violated probation with the 14-year-old father of her baby. Okay, stupid. And we also have Carla Faye Tucker was executed in Texas, the first woman to be executed in the United States since 1984. And it must have been a real bad bitch, And then we have stamps commemorating Diana, Princess of Wales, went on sale in Britain. And 999 in Jammu and Kashmir, the political party in Jammu and Kashmir, the political party Democratic Janata Dal, Jammu and Kashmir, was revived. All right. Moving on up into the 2000s now. Did I not do anything? Nope. 2011. Wow, jumping on up. All available blocks of
First decade pretty quiet on this day.
All available blocks of IPv4 internet addresses were officially distributed to regional authorities. And we have 2014, the teenage student shot and killed a geography teacher and a police officer and wounded 8 others at school 263 on the outskirts of Moscow, Russia. Now, from the other source, it said 2 students were murdered via gun at a school shooting in Moscow. But the primary source says a geography teacher and a police officer. Clearly, they're not students.
No.
So, was it like a misunderstanding? Was it 2 students? Was it these 2 guys, or was it both?
Somebody got it wrong.
Yeah. 2016, Lord Lucan's death certificate was granted 42 years after he disappeared following the murder of nanny Sandra Rivet. Yeah. Rand Paul dropped out of the Republican presidential nomination race. I decided that that'd be interesting. I kind of remember that. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. 2016 as well, U.S. President Barack Obama visited his first U.S. mosque, the Islamic Society of Baltimore Mosque in Maryland. And let's not forget, his middle name is Hussein. 2018, Moscow, Russia had its heaviest snowfall in a day on record at 43 centimeters or 17 inches, killing 1 and bringing down 2,000 trees. Jeez. Wow. 2019, British-born rapper 21 Savage was arrested by U.S. immigration for overstaying his visa. All right, bye, We also have the dam in Townsville, Australia, was deliberately opened, flooding 20,000 homes after the city received a record 3.3 feet of rain in a week. Wow.
Well, they probably had to save the dam.
Yeah, no, they had to.
Yeah.
So, 2019, Pope Francis arrived in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, on the first ever papal visit to the Arabian Peninsula. Oh, so not just his, but the first, according to our source here. 2019, wreckage from light aircraft carrying EPL team Cardiff City's record signing Emiliano Sala was discovered on the seabed of the English Channel. Cause of death, head and trunk injuries. Oh, I don't know what a trunk, like elephant trunk or something, or their trunk hit him in the head? Like, what?
I don't know what the trunk is.
Is this a trunk? I don't know. 2020, cruise ship Diamond Princess with 3,700 passengers quarantined in Yokohama Port, Japan, after cases of COVID-19, the Kung Flu, was found on board. You remember when all of that madness was happening, around the world, all those cruise ships locked down? But then, eventually, after they got all the passengers out, I think I've told you this, but do you remember or do you know how they got all the crew? Because you know that the crew is international, all over the world.
Yeah.
But the ships are all over the world. So, do you know how they got all the crew back home?
No idea.
They got all the ships around the entire world met them all up into this one area, and transferred like all the Puerto Ricans to this ship, all the Ecuadorians are there, like and then they sent them back home.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, really smart. So. 2020 as well, Malawi's Constitutional Court annulled the 2019 election, which saw President Peter Mukatawi reelected due to voting irregularities. 2021, U.S. and Russia extended their New START nuclear arms control treaty for 5 years, the last remaining nuclear arms deal between the two countries. Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 2021, engineers at MIT announced that they have engineered spinach to send emails. I remember this. When detecting explosive materials in groundwater as part of plant nanobiotic research. I remember this. We spoke about this on the news show. They somehow, I don't know how, but they have something where the biologics of spinach translates that into a digital signal if the spinach detects explosive materials in groundwater. So, if somebody is, this is obviously planned for more than just spinach, but it's for a plant, if they can somehow unlock this for all plants, then they can discover who's making bombs. Because, small substances, microscopic things leak in the groundwater, and then, if I'm making any sense.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
The future is now, old man. And 2022, Australia brought into force its vaccine mandate for Austria brought into force its vaccine mandate for all. First ever country the first country in Europe to do so. That was a jumble. 2022, ISIS leader Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurasi, how the hell could I read that better than the previous article, blew himself and his family up during a raid by U.S. Special Forces in Syria.
Wow.
Yeah. 2023, coldest wind chill likely ever recorded in the U.S., a minus 108 degrees.
What?
Oh, fuck the wind. Taken at Mount Washington Observatory in New Hampshire. Wow. Negative 108 degrees wind chill.
Crazy.
Get back inside! And 2023, this is going to be familiar. A train carrying toxic chemicals, including vinyl chloride, derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, starting a fire and leading to an intentional burn-off of chemicals to stop a possible explosion. So there's also other hazardous materials.
You don't want to seep into the groundwater either.
Releasing hydrogen chloride and phosgene into the air and contaminating the Ohio River.
Yeah.
So, it was just going to be a disaster. And last but not least, this time last year, 2025, Edmond Deidy's opera Morgane world premiere performance 138 years after its composition by the Opera Creole and Opera Lafayette at the Lincoln Theater in Washington, D.C. 138 years and finally got it make its debut. That is, that's awesome. And that shall conclude the show. Please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion. You saw the ones we looked over. We didn't read and all that stuff. It is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness and a yearning to see outside of what you think you know, to grow and to find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am AO Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, VRU, please check the underbar until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever that is. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! And...
Hey.